hours. Holy shit.
8 whole hours.
Now horse. Oh, I don't know when we start.
So don't
Like
see us
when
live.
will it start? Oh, there it goes. Yep. Yep.
Hello. Hello. I think we're live.
There we go. Yeah. We are live. I don't know if I can hear you now though.
Hear me?
Yeah, now I can. Okay, good.
Mute myself on the YouTube video.
Yeah, I did that too.
Hello, world. There is a live chat, right? So
Yeah,
anyone
yeah,
who
yeah.
wants to
I'll pop
comment and
that
say
out
hello,
and
it'll be fun.
I'll watch it
We'll watch it.
just in case.
Some of our stalkers are watching.
Our walker stalkers.
I didn't say that. You said that.
Yes, I did. The last day and the rest of my life.
Well, if you're listening live,
all right.
This is obviously not edited, so you won't hear our intro music until there's the actual recorded version. So we'll just act like the intro music started, and then we'll start the podcast. Just like we normally
with your
do.
hosts, the Walking Dead Enthusiast Podcast.
All right. Hey guys, and welcome to the Walking Dead Enthusiast Podcast, episode 109, the only Walking Dead podcast discussing the comics and television show at the same time. I'm Sebastian.
I'm Dennis.
And I'm Ryan.
And on this episode, we're discussing season 7, episode 16 of The Walking Dead, entitled The First Day of the Rest of Your Life.
Oh boy.
Finale.
Overall, not bad.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I had mixed
That's how I felt
emotions.
I personally could have done without the whole Sasha thing.
Like the flashbacks?
The obvious build up to her death and the flashbacks, yes. It's like I feel like The Walking Dead was like, hey, we've had this actress who's been on the show for such a long time, and we need to give her like a solid goodbye. So let's make half the episode about her. Hey, Jonathan.
Oh yeah, Dennis is, a robot, so he doesn't actually have a face.
He is the computer he's streaming from, so yeah.
No, yeah, I totally agree with you. But I mean, it's in typical Walking Dead fashion that we get a ton of backstory for a character that's immediately killed off. It's like a death sentence to get any sort of founder character development on the show without getting killed off. So, I mean, yeah, it didn't come as a shock or a surprise to me that it was going to happen. I think it was pretty. Yes, even before the finale, that it was likely going to happen. So,
oh yeah, as soon as she didn't die in like when she went kamikaze into the Saviors, the Sanctuary, sorry, you pretty much knew she was going to be one of the people who died at the end of the season.
Yep. And it was another miraculous shootout where nobody else died.
Well, I mean, yeah, no major characters or minor characters, just like
the literal
fucking red shirts.
Yeah. I don't know if they were trolling or fucking with all of us, but they literally put the people that died in red shirts.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty hilarious. Denbot, what did you think? How many beeps do you give it?
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it had its flaws. There was a lot of things I didn't get, but overall it was entertaining.
What did you get?
What?
Oh, basically everything that happened with the garbage people.
Oh, the backstab.
The whole 12 and 10 thing. How they even meet up
I know
with
what
the
12
Saviors.
and 10 thing was.
Mm-hmm. I don't either. And unfortunately, I don't think we're going to revisit that. So if you didn't get
the 12 and 10 thing?
Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm watching Talking Dead, and that's the part of the show that fucking frustrates me. It's like they don't fucking He doesn't ask any legitimate questions. Like, once did he ask, why did the garbage people backstab Rick and his group? He didn't ask, like, how the two other groups, the Hilltop and the Kingdom, miraculously got into Alexandria unnoticed. Like, he doesn't ask any questions that fans like legit wonder about. Instead, it's just like, Abraham.
Who was on Talking Dead? I didn't even catch it.
It was Norman Reedus, of course. I actually feel bad for Chris Hardwick because, like, it was the finale episode. It was an extended episode. Then on top of that, they put Into the Badlands in between the Talking Dead on a finale.
Really? I love Into the Badlands. I think that's a great show.
Yeah, but like when you're watching a finale episode and immediately following, it's kind of weird. So, yeah, I don't know. There was like, as my general thoughts on it is, as like a diehard Walking Dead fan and like just a fanboy in general, I thought the episode was great. But when seeing as we have a podcast and we're forced to like kind of maybe analyze it a little deeper than regular people might,
it had its issues.
Flaws. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, we'll go deeper into all of those, but overall, yeah, it was okay. It was a decent end to a rather lackluster season. And I'd say the fandom is split.
A lackluster second half. I thought the first half wasn't bad. Definitely.
Really?
Yeah, the second half definitely was just kind of worse than every other season I've ever seen of The Walking Dead. I would go that far. The finale doesn't even help.
Yeah. It's like one of those seasons where everything blends for me, and I don't.
Well, this season in particular blends. It's like this build up to this big thing, like obviously all out war.
Yeah.
But you forget all this stuff, like all the nonsense that like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're right.
Like these people were going to war with Negan regardless of what happened in this season.
Yeah. Well, so that's kind of like the frustrating part is like there's so many episodes that don't feel like they really matter at the end of the day, which tends to be the Walking Dead style in a way. So, I think almost like the garbage people to me literally served no purpose whatsoever.
Other than being red shirts, yeah, or black shirts, I guess is what it would be.
I mean, they could have essentially done this exact same storyline, but with Gregory. Like if they just had him leave a day earlier where he was telling Negan all this shit that was going on. Negan shows up at the safe zone. Dwight, the same exact thing happens with Dwight where he switches sides and the exact same thing. But instead, they've introduced these fucking weird ass garbage people, alien characters that make no sense and to me don't really bring anything to the show whatsoever.
Yeah, they really don't. It's other than filler. Like the whole episode where they were at the garbage dump, I guess is what you'd call it. It was just kind of like it literally means nothing now that they betrayed them. Rick's group, that is.
Yeah. Well, and so were they like screwing with us with that? Like, I almost feel like
AMC.
Yeah, I mean, if you the writers, I'd say more than anything, but it's like if you looked back on it at the first interactions with the garbage people and so on and so forth, they kind of just say the same exact things over and over in a way that you don't necessarily understand what they're saying. So it leaves like a lot of room for interpretation. It's almost like when Jada shows up in this episode, she says the same exact thing she said the first time we met her, which was like whatever that weird saying is, like we do not whatever
disturb or whatever it is, which is total bullshit because they literally disturbed Alexandria when they came in and took everything.
Yeah. True. But it's almost like she was saying, like, she was telling Rick what they were about to do without Rick actually, like, putting two and two together. He's just like, oh, yeah, you're so silly. Like, we're good. You got your guns. We're on the same side. No worries.
If you look back at it, it kind of makes sense that she was in league with Negan when she asked for half.
Oh.
But it's such a such a like a minuscule thing that I would think that most people didn't pick up on. And it also, I wasn't sure when she made the deal with Negan. You know, I couldn't really understand what the fuck she was saying half the time. So I don't know if she was like, we made a new deal after we made the deal with you, or it was like that all along.
So yeah, so are we supposed to assume that the garbage people knew who the saviors were before all this? Before Rick ever
I don't know.
interacted with
I don't know, because I really she was like speaking a different whole fucking language the entire time.
Yeah, I don't. That was like. It seems like to me, well, at least the viewers, we didn't see anything that would imply that Rick told Jadis about like the saviors and where they live and this and that. So to me, it would almost have to imply that either Negan already has this kind of deal with Jadis from the onset, or Jadis just knows who they are by default, or who knows. So yeah, it was kind of strange. And then even like kind of the guidelines behind the deal didn't really make sense to me at all. Like, what? So they're like, she's like 10. You said 12, and he's like, no, 10. She's like 12, and and then she's like,
yeah,
okay,
but
fine.
I don't know what the hell they were talking about. I guess it was like people, because they said people are a commodity or something like that, so they get to keep some of Rick's group or something like that. I'm not sure what they were talking about.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess that makes a little bit more sense. I was thinking like Negan was gonna give her 10 of his people. I guess I don't know, to be like some sort of slaves or something.
Jonathan says she was hoping to get 12 more garbage cats. The little
Indeed.
little statues.
Yes.
But yeah, Jonathan also said it goes towards Negan's ability to already know what Rick is doing, and I completely agree. It's Negan's system of knowing what's going on in his world is so much better than Rick's.
Which is funny because I feel like every time we see Negan, it almost shows like he's a complete fucking idiot. But then I like these little nods during the episodes that show that he is kind of like this tactical leader who does have eyes everywhere and knows all this shit going down. Mm-hmm. Because so often we see him throughout this season kind of put his trust in people that he doesn't even fucking know, like Eugene and then even Sasha in this particular instance. But then at the end of the day, he always kind of, somehow manages to work it all out. So maybe he's smarter than we give him credit for. I don't know.
Well, I think he's pretty smart. I always have.
You think so?
I think you're looking at his mannerisms, his lean backs, and your his pops and drops.
I'm gonna do that the whole episode, and I'll just keep cutting out from the
a lean back.
Yeah. So, okay, was it just me, or did anyone else think that Sasha was masturbating at the beginning of this episode?
I think it was just you.
She looked like she was like. You didn't think that? You have to go back and watch like the cold open of this episode.
Well, obviously now when I go back and watch it, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, Seb said she was masturbating, so now I'm gonna think that.
It's literally,
you've ruined it.
It's literally what it looked like. I mean, it was insane. And then I was like, what the fuck is she doing? And like, to me, it almost made sense if they really wanted to go there. Like, she knew she was gonna kill herself, so she was just trying to like,
she was thinking of Abraham.
Give herself one last hurrah. And I mean, like, that sexy like R&B music was playing. So, I don't know.
All right, now I can see where you're going with it. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And she's like kind of sweaty and like breathing heavy. You have to rewatch it. And, with that in mind, and you'll be like, oh fuck yeah, it does look like
it'd be a great dub if someone just put like thicker R&B music, like oh yeah.
And then she just passes out at the end. Yeah, little did I know she was dying, and then I felt like bad at the end that I thought she was masturbating. But Dennis, as the comic book fan that you are, what did you think about the way they did the whole Sasha death scene in relation to Holly's death scene in the comics?
I thought it was pretty good. I like how it wasn't exactly the same, that they switched it up a bit, but yeah, I think we all saw that was coming.
Yeah, I don't feel like they could have done like the bag over the head thing like they did with Holly in the comics, because then they definitely came up with a creative solution with with the coffin and stuff like that. But assuming that Sasha had to take the pill, there's no way she could have done that if she had a bag over her head. Or, what was also interesting is that they point out that it's a 2-hour ride or so with no interferences from the sanctuary to Alexandria, which I felt like it was nice that they added at least some sort of spatial awareness between these groups so that we like fucking know what the hell is going on and how close all these people actually
That's
are.
a hell of a drive with no traffic.
Yeah, yeah, that is a hell of a drive with no traffic. And imagine how much traffic and interference you do encounter during a fucking zombie apocalypse. That's got to be like a 4-hour fucking journey, especially with all those trees in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's pretty plausible that she could have suffocated. I love how like at the end he's like, "How did he die?" And then, "How could she have died?" And he's like, "Oh well, I think the tarp probably on top of the coffin probably suffocated her." And I'm like, "Well, aren't coffins already like airtight?"
Yeah. Well, did he say tarp?
Yeah, he said something about like, I guess they put a
I
tarp
thought he said it
over
was
the
airtight,
coffin.
and that's how she died.
Yeah, I'm not.
Who's to say?
I mean that might be.
Speaking of
but...
Eugene, what was he talking about earlier when they were blocked by those trees?
I thought he
what do you mean?
wanted to go ahead of Negan and do his little speech that he did.
Okay. It wasn't that far ahead.
Yeah, I think that. Oh, I don't
Well,
think
no,
he
I'm
like
saying
like
come out
literally
and,
ahead.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I see what you're
Like,
saying. Okay.
he
Be
would
the first
make
to say
first
something.
interaction. Yeah, because he was trying to kind of squash everything before it got too
He
serious.
needs to dumb it down. I can't understand half the time what he's talking about.
Dude, don't even get me started. I will say though,
Just like half the people in this show say shit that we can't understand.
yeah, now I think we have more characters that talk like fucking idiots on this show than characters that talk like normal human beings. Like I don't like at least 60% of the characters on this show talk in some weird tongues that no one fucking understands, and the characters just go with it. So I don't know. I will say though, I am. This is one of those things where you could easily change my opinion of a character, and I'm actually digging this whole thing that they're doing with Eugene. Um, you know, up until this point, you all know how my feelings are about Eugene. I thought he's kind of just like a shit character, and I didn't really like him. I thought the acting was bad. I thought it was all bad. The whole direction that they're taking, where he's taking this heel turn, and it shows me like, oh my gosh, the writers could do something that I like and is interesting. So that almost gives me a little bit of hope that one day they could do something with Daryl.
Yeah.
And something that's different and out of the ordinary, and maybe I'll like it. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely agree. They could, but they haven't, and I don't think they ever will.
I don't think they ever will either. Maybe him and Dwight will like become friends or something, but that wouldn't really be interesting or different in any particular way.
No,
But
I see Dwight dying.
you
One
do?
way or another, yeah.
Maybe he'll selflessly sacrifice himself like Sasha did.
I wouldn't care. I really don't care about his character. There's like maybe three or four characters I care about.
Yeah. Who are those 3 or 4 characters?
I mean, Rick.
Carl's
one of them.
Michonne.
No, surprisingly, I don't care about Michonne. I thought I would, but like,
I don't like the direction they're taking her.
Yeah. So weirdly, I Enid and Maggie.
What?
I'd care if they died, and who else?
Carol.
Nope.
No,
not
still?
Morgan.
I thought you
not
liked
Carol,
her.
not Morgan. It's about it. At this point, like if someone else dies, I'm not like shocked. Like if they killed off Rick, I'd be shocked. And I was hoping that they would. I was hoping that Negan would take at least one of his hands before magically the kingdom in the hilltop showed up.
I
at the
thought that
same
would have
exact
been
time.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
they
mean, to
didn't.
me, that would have been perfect timing.
Yeah.
Like, especially in terms of like, you know, took his hand in the comics. It was like super early on, so I could see they're not wanting to deal with like the CGI and all that crap in regards to taking of the hand. But I actually thought this would have been when he says something about
Perfect.
taking both his hands. I thought it would have been the
Yeah.
perfect opportunity
Because
to
I
do
was
it.
like, oh, maybe they will. At least one of them.
Yeah, that's what I thought
And
too.
that'll make it interesting. But alas.
Yeah,
They
alas, they did not. Yeah,
but
I don't, and especially with. Sorry, go ahead.
we did find out where all the CGI budget went to. It was the 2 or 3 tiger scenes of it pouncing on one random sanctuary person.
Yeah. Did you see how they film that?
No.
They showed like a special behind the scenes clip on Talking Dead of how they filmed the tiger scenes, and it was it's a guy dressed in a blue sock. I think I'm someone. I want to say Steven, who usually sends his feedback in. He posted it on our Facebook group. I'll send it to you guys after this. It's just like a guy dressed in a blue like body sock, and he's just like jumping on a trampoline like at the savior guy.
Oh man,
yeah, it's kind of like how they do like Gollum or something. You know, the guy dresses up in the whole outfit or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan said Daryl rides a motorcycle with Dwight in the side.
Dwight in the sidecar. I do have to say though, I watched The Walking Dead season finale and I watched Black Sails season finale, and I was more excited the way Walking Dead ended than I was Black Sails, which I was surprised.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I can't really talk to either of you about Black Sails because you haven't seen it, but
yeah, no.
I feel like Black Sails was canceled and they ended it in a random way. That I thought was
Black Sails actually canceled?
I feel like it was. I'm not sure. I feel like they were like, we're done with this. It's been 4 seasons. We're done.
Well,
but they're not making it anymore. So
The Walking Dead, because it's like very clear that they write this shit like episode by episode with absolutely no game plan in mind whatsoever.
I think there's a game plan, but they just like I honestly I think that they could have had this entire season in at least half a season.
No, yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you.
And the second half of the season would have been the entire war. And that would have been a great season if they'd done it right.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they could have just sped this shit up and made this season the war, honestly. Like,
yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like the first half of the season could be like that you know, they kill Glenn, they kill Abraham at the beginning like they did. And then the rest of the season is this build up, and then the mid-season finale was this episode.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
You could have get rid of the fucking garbage people.
Yeah.
Tara and what was the guy Tara was out with?
Heath.
Yeah, Heath. We never hear from ever again. They could have their thing could have been like, we met up with these people and stole all their guns or something like that.
Yeah.
So they have
no
all
need
these
for
guns,
Oceanside,
and so you could have just eliminated going back there for an entire episode.
Yeah. No, I mean, they could totally do that. They just don't want to because they want to make more money. I mean, I forget. Did I tell you guys this already? That there was an article that said that The Walking Dead could either go for 20 years or 20 more years. I don't remember.
Exactly. No, I don't know if I could do this podcast for another 20 years.
Well, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like you say like, oh no, they definitely have to have an end game in mind. No, they do not.
Oh no, I don't think they have an end game. I think they know where they want the season to go, and then they write it episode by episode. I'm agreeing with you on that, but like,
see, but that's like the frustrating.
I don't think they
part,
just sit down and they're like, all right, we have 16 episodes, let's just fill them.
You don't think they do that?
No, actually, I do think that's
exactly what they do.
They have an arc, and then they have to fill that arc. I agree.
Yes. I think
Lucy says, seriously, fuck those dumpy fucking garbage people. Completely agree, Lucy.
Indeed. Like when you hear a show like Westworld or something like that on HBO, they say like we have 5-season plan. Like this show's not going to go longer than 5 seasons. We have the story we want to tell. We know what we want to tell. We know how we want to do it, and that's what we're going to do. Like,
well, Westworld, just like Game of Thrones, is based on books. So is Walking Dead, but The Walking Dead
movie
is still going. And from what I've heard from you guys, it's pretty lackluster.
I don't know. I'm pretty far behind at this point. Dennis,
you're what?
I'm behind at this, like probably like 6 or 8 issues behind. I heard it got really good around like this whole Whisperer scenario.
Oh, it's still going on with the Whisperers, huh?
I don't know, Dennis.
No.
Oh, it's over?
No, we've moved on.
We've moved on. Okay, there's a new villain.
Is there a new villain, Dennis?
No.
I was gonna say, like, Jesus Christ, if they like bounce from fucking villain to villain, Lucy said the comics are Amazon right now. I'm gonna assume she meant the comics either on Amazon or the comics are amazing. What? I'm gonna say amazing. I need to catch up.
There it is, amazing.
There it is. Yeah, no, I have to catch up. I heard it was great. Dennis? Question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard like rumors and kind of mentions of this that not the saviors, the scavengers in this show, aka Jadis, is gonna become the Whisperers. If you look at it from that perspective, the Whisperers is led by a woman who that whole Whisperers group speaks the exact same way that the Whisperers do in the comics, like with these weird kind of like backward sentences or whatever. Like, to me, if they introduced a completely new group that it acted almost essentially the exact same way as the scavengers, I feel like that would just be stupid.
Yeah.
Could you see that happening?
No, yeah, I could totally see that happening. I'd prefer it that way.
From my understanding, I thought the Whispers acted as the dead.
They do, yeah.
So the garbage people don't do that.
Yeah.
Oh shit! It's Walt. Walt says the garbage pail asshole's gotta go.
Everyone loves the garbage people so much.
The garbage pail kids.
Does anyone find Jadis like strangely attractive, or is that just me?
I don't find her attractive, no.
Like, not at all?
No.
See, I find her attractive in like a step on your nuts kind of way.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I was just all revved up for this episode with Sasha masturbating.
Oh god.
Oh god. Yeah.
Oh, what is not, I was gonna make a connection, but I completely blanked.
Walt said, "What up, Ryan?"
Mila Jovovich.
Yeah,
I think she has like a Mila Jovovich look.
Yeah.
Which then I could totally see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's like the poor man's Mila Jovovich.
What's up, Nerdocalypse?
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh, Nerdocalypse?
That's what it is.
Hey, what's up? This is fun.
But
we have way more people watching this one than we did last time. Remember, for those people that
it's because we
are watching. Yeah, that's true. The people that are watching or joining now, there is a live chat that we're reading as we're doing this. So if you want to say something, ask us a question, whatever you want to do, just chime on in. We're reading them all. Okay, so let's talk about the episode again. Or get back to it.
Continue.
So, did either of you watch Talking Dead? Probably not, right?
No, I can't do it. If it was critical of the show, which it will never be, and I understand why it's not, but
well, yeah, okay. Well, by the way, Chris Hardwick's new next week.
What's it about?
It's Talking with Chris Hardwick.
No, it's not. Shut up.
That's what it's called.
Is it really? Talking with Chris Hardwick?
Yeah.
About what?
I don't know, anything and everything. It's a mix between The Talking Dead, a Comic-Con panel, and a talk show.
So it's his fucking podcast that they turned into a show.
Oh yeah, that too. They said a mix of his podcast too. Yeah, it's literally.
Okay. It's exactly what it is.
Can I take over his podcast?
No.
Yeah, it's called Talking with Chris Hardwick.
You could not get half the references that man does.
No, I know that. His first guest on this show is Elijah Wood.
Dude, Elijah Wood might be my favorite actor in all of Hollywood.
Really?
That I love listening to any interview he's all about.
Why?
Just go listen to any Nerdist. Like, they've had him on Nerdist before. Elijah Wood is the coolest dude. He's like totally into horror and all kinds of shit.
Sorry, I was reading Lucy's comment. She said, "Let's just never end this podcast. Keep on talking.
Keep talking forever. Let's see how long we can drag this out."
Going. So Elijah Wood, you love him, apparently.
Yeah, he seems like a cool dude. They say never meet your heroes, but that is someone I would 100% like to meet one day.
They say never meet your heroes.
Yeah, that's the saying.
Because you'll be disappointed.
Yeah,
well,
that's why I said I don't care about that. I would meet. He's not my hero, so it doesn't matter.
All right,
Anyway.
well, set your DVR for next Sunday. Talking with Chris Hardwick.
Is it on AMC?
Yeah, of course it is. He's gonna be on his big stupid couch with Elijah Wood. All right. So anyway, back. The reason I brought this up is because Talking Dead. They had. Oh, you asked who was on it. It was Sonequa Martin Green, who plays Sasha. It was on at 11 p.m., so they needed a reason for people to turn it on. Scott Gimple, fuck you. And I think that
they had 4 people.
No, I think that was it. And then Michael Kudlitz made like a special appearance and showed up for like the last 20 minutes.
Of course he did.
Yeah. So either way, on the Talking Dead, they were Chris Hardwick was obviously sucking Sasha's D and saying how amazing she was and blah 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 blah. And in the show, they described her death as both heroic and quote selfless. Like, are we watching a different show?
Yeah.
Because I don't see her death being heroic or selfless. I don't think your death can be selfless when it was self-inflicted.
Yeah. I kind of think, her running out to the saviors in the first place, to the sanctuary, was kind of like,
Selfish.
Hey, I don't give a fuck about who dies from what my actions are, even though it's been shown to me so many times that what I do affects others. Fuck that. I'm going to run in and start shooting people anyway. Like, that's such a dick thing to do. And we said that last time we were on here. It was just kind of like, ugh. And then her taking the pill was just kind of like,
the only thing
she had no
could do.
idea what her dead self would have done.
No,
she had no idea who. Like, what if Negan made Rick open the casket?
Yes, it was like literally the most convenient thing ever. What if? Yeah. I mean, we've already determined in this show that you can literally turn in a span of either like 10 seconds or hours. Like, so she just got lucky that she conveniently happened to turn within the 2 to 3 hour time frame that she was in the coffin. Like, come on. Like,
that's one thing. That's one of the things about the show that's really up in the air, because we've seen people turn like instantly within like 5 minutes, and then we've seen people turn in like hours. It seems to be like based on the person. They just don't, they turn people when it's convenient.
Like,
is what it is.
Skinny people.
I don't know. Like, Rapey Dave didn't turn very fast.
Really? I feel like he turned very fast. But I don't really know. We don't know how long.
Also, like, time. Yeah.
We don't know
how about that weak ass fight between Michonne and Trashface?
Holy fuck. Oh, that was Lucy. Good one. That shit was ridiculous. Like, talk about last episode, they had fucking Maggie looking like a dumbass trying to fight off that walker when Gregory got attacked by that other one, and she's like struggling with one walker. And then you have fucking Michonne in this episode getting her ass beat by some 2-bit trash lady. Like, what the fuck? Like, you're telling me that badass Michonne, like, literally there were scenes of her face getting smashed into the cement. It was just ridiculous. And I'm like, why do they make these characters seem so able and then so inadequate whenever they want them to be or whenever they need them to be? Like, it's just ridiculous.
My thing is, like, they don't even show the fight. It's just like a couple scenes where like one person has the advantage and then they cut. And then they cut back, and it's like another person has the advantage, and then they cut, and then they cut back, and then you hear a scream. Oh, I hit my mic.
Oh.
And then you don't know, but you know. But you don't know, but you know.
They did
they're
it
just
so
like,
much better in the comics.
This
like
character's so affected by this death that didn't happen.
that we all recognize wasn't even fucking Michonne's like scream. Like, it didn't even sound like her. Like,
I was surprised they didn't put the fucking Wilhelm scream in there. That would have been great.
Oh,
clearly Michonne with the Wilhelm scream.
They did a way better job of that whole scene and scenario. Remember, we were talking about this like earlier in the season, that I figured this whole scene would have happened with Michonne, especially after that whole episode with Rick and Michonne, where she's saying, if I die, you need to go on without me. And I mean, that kind of played into it here. I thought they would end up cliffhangering her death until next season, and we would have to be left, well, not we, like the people who follow the show, like,
I mean, we are those people.
Well, no, okay, like the people who believe everything and anything
gotcha.
would have been like, oh my god, I have to wait 6 months to find out if fucking Michonne is dead or not. Like, come on. But in the comics, they do this so much better. A, it's Andrea, so it's obviously way better. And B, So
you can't kill off you can't kill off more than one major character per season, but apparently you can now. So, or per half season. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, like, she didn't have to actually get killed off, but it's like, dude who's 2 times her size, like Andrew did in the comics. It makes more sense that she's getting her ass beat. Like, when we've seen Michonne, she took on the governor. She stabbed him in the eye. And you're telling me Trash Bitch is stronger than the governor?
Trash Bitch.
Come on. It's just crazy. So to me, it would have been way better and way more believable had they had her fighting a guy. Why they didn't, I really don't know. I would have liked to see her square off against that fucking like Star Trek looking dude, like the main guy character from the
the girl or the guy what's her face lays with, or whatever she said.
Yeah.
You lay with this man. Yeah. I forget his name. Someone said it at the beginning of this chat. Let me move this down.
Oh god. Lucy said the sniper bit is so unbelievable for Michonne. Totally agree. Like, I don't like, they're just trying, like, I don't know. They're just trying way too hard.
Yeah, like, other than the scene where you see Michonne like shooting walkers in the field on top of a truck, like, there's nothing in the show to suggest that Michonne has been very good at sniping.
No,
like last episode at Seaside, we were just kind of like, oh, Michonne's in a tree shooting people for no reason.
But she didn't shoot anyone.
She is but she didn't shoot anybody.
I love, like, in that last episode where she's got like her scope on the grandma bitch.
Yeah.
And Tara's like looking at her like, no, don't shoot her. And I'm like, yeah, she's saying don't shoot her because she knows you're gonna shoot her instead. Like, don't even attempt that shot because you're going
don't shoot her, you'll hit me.
I don't think there's been one single scenario where Michonne has ever hit her target. Even in the last episode, she tries to shoot that walker and she has to try to shoot it like 3 fucking times. So let's not like believe that's actually gonna happen. But
yeah, and they killed off the only person who is actually good at sniping, Sasha.
That's why I thought they were going to go with Sasha being Rick's girlfriend, but, you know, apparently not.
They didn't.
No, I didn't know. I know that, but at least they didn't go with like the race baity thing with from the comic storylines where they thought Sasha was Rick's girlfriend. They were able to do that or not do that successfully, so that's good.
Who is it in the comics though? It's like two white chicks though, right?
Holly, who's a
Yeah,
white chick with short
Holly.
blonde hair, and then Andrea, who's a white chick with long blonde hair. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense that those two are kind of dating or whatever, or he would confuse them for the two that are dating. But I don't. Did you guys like the flashbacks?
Oh, that was so dumb.
No,
Yeah.
that's totally part of what I did not like about this episode. It was like, oh no, we're losing a major cast member. We have to say her goodbye. Like it was so much more for me. Like it was angled towards the actress than it was the character.
Really?
Like, oh no, we have to say our goodbyes by making this emotional scene for her at the end of this episode, and we have to give her a big goodbye. Like she did this grandiose thing, but she didn't. She sat in a coffin, committed suicide, and that was the end of it.
Because that's the only option she had. I don't. Oh god, that the whole thing, like that was like their desperate attempt, really, at kind of like trying to reverse engineer like a sob story where there was none. Like, you can't make me feel bad for Sasha as a character who literally got herself in this position, and then don't try to make me feel like she did this heroic sacrifice where she gave up her life in order to save the people that she cares about. No, homegirl, you did everyone a fucking favor. That's what you did. You got yourself in that situation, and literally the only way out to not fuck everyone more was to kill yourself. So I'm glad you fucking did it, because then I don't feel bad for you at all.
I mean, maybe like there was that scene where she was talking to Negan and she was like, only one person needs to die, and he's like, fine, only one person needs to die. And I guess that means
She's talking about
she's
herself.
the one person.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Because he said he was going to kill him. About him?
Yeah, I thought that was the whole plan. Still trying to kill him.
I mean, maybe, but like, how could, other than like making herself a zombie? But like I said before, she doesn't know who's going to open the fucking casket.
She doesn't even know if this is going to work. She doesn't even know if the pill is going to work. Like, that's crazy. No, but I think she was saying like only one person has to die, and she was talking about herself, I guess. But I still don't understand like what that really had to do with anything. Like, she was essentially saying, oh, I'll kill myself so that Negan can't use me against my friends. Well, if Negan really just fucking wants to go in there and kill everyone, he's gonna fucking do it, whether you're dead or alive. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Which at this point in the show, I don't understand why he still doesn't do that. Like, if I was him and I had given Rick this many chances, I would have fucking killed Rick.
Yeah. I don't understand why he kills everyone around Rick. Rick is literally looking you in the eyes saying, you could kill my son, you could cut off
my hand.
Take both of my hands, and I will kill you. It's like, why would you just not kill him?
Like, he's a fucking liability. If Negan was a true businessman, he would fucking kill Rick.
You're right. Well, maybe he thinks like if Rick is dead, then it shuts everyone down and yada yada yada. I don't know. It's
good. Shut them down.
Well, like shut them down, like to where they're just gonna give up, and like then they really won't provide anything for the saviors.
No, I don't think that. No.
I don't know. It's kind of like the same argument about like, okay, Sasha's master plan to kill Negan. Did she just assume that like all the saviors would be like, oh great, Negan's dead, I'm gonna leave now? Like, it's kind of working under the same assumption, but on Rick's end. So
no, I think Sasha was just being selfish. She was being selfish and impatient and thought Rick wasn't going to do anything about it, so she took it on her own and ran in there guns blazing, and apparently didn't kill anybody.
She killed like 3 guys, but she got to
live. Okay, three people, and then I guess she got to kill
Rapey Dave. Yeah. Indirectly kill the
indirectly. Yeah.
I mean, personally,
Rapey Dave.
I kind of liked like her. I like the dream sequence for what it is and what it represented, but I don't think it needed to be in this episode. This is like one of those nice things that is, if it's into either the previous season or earlier in the season. It doesn't seem as blatant and on the nose like, oh, we're giving Sasha backstory, so now we're going to kill her. I think it was good. I actually thought it was kind of ominous in a way that it's like, we now know, like, before they went out on that whole voyage that ended up getting Glenn and Abraham killed, Sasha didn't even want him to go. I think that's all kind of cool, but just at the fucking wrong time. Like, literally, when the first scene is Sasha's face, you know she's dead.
Oh, 100%. And I completely agree. That shit should have been before they left to take Maggie.
Yeah. Absolutely.
When it happened, you know.
But then we'd probably be saying the same thing, like, oh, they're just trying to develop Abraham right before he dies. So I guess it's kind of a lose.
I liked Abraham. Abraham was one of the characters I truly liked.
Yeah, I think he was pretty well developed.
He was cool.
Yeah, no, he was developed as a character. I mean, it's one of those things, like, they could have, if they had done this previously, they could have easily called back to it in this episode without it being like the whole thing. Like, we did not need 20 fucking solid minutes of this shit.
Yeah.
Getting like 10-word segments at a time, but we're getting 20 of them. And in between, like, action scenes where, you know, your heart's racing and you're like, oh, fuck, what's going to happen? And then it's like, we're back to Sasha, like, talking about a day at the beach. Like, it doesn't.
Said in the chat, like, the dream sequence telegraphed early in the episode the fact that Sasha was going to die. Like, there was absolutely no suspense in the episode. It's like, all right, great, she's going to die. And then they drug it out the entire episode. It was just like,
Yep. Walt says Abraham was way better than Daryl.
Oh, 100%.
At least he had some intrigue.
I would have preferred Abraham going out in a blaze of glory with, like, 2 M16s in his hands, like, shooting everybody, and died that way. No, he got his head bashed in a field.
Well, he had to, because, you know, that projected the story forward. So.
It made you think that Glenn wouldn't die for a hot second.
No, it didn't. Literal. Yeah, no, it didn't at all.
Nope.
Because anyone who follows the news knows no one was on set. Whatever. Okay, so are we assuming Jadis? Jadis was supposed to be Negan's little birdie, right? Actually decided.
Who?
Jadis, the trash bag lady.
Oh, trash bag lady, yes.
Yeah, so she's Negan's little bird for whatever reason. I didn't see that coming. I will say that's like I could see a betrayal on their end because they just didn't seem trustworthy at all. But I didn't think she was actually working directly with Negan. I kind of thought she was just kind of like an independent contractor and she just did whatever the fuck she wanted. But so that part surprised me a bit.
Sorry, I'm laughing at what Lucy said. The highlight of the episode was the brief second I thought Eugene was going to die.
Oh my god, me too!
Yeah, and he whipped that fucking she suffocated shit out of his ass.
Wait, what? She suffocated shit out of his ass?
No, I'm saying, like, he whipped that, like, idea out of his ass.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I thought I was actually starting to giggle as Eugene was making the speech, and then when he says Negan and Rick gives him like this, "Are you fucking serious?" eye roll. I was hoping he was gonna give someone permission to just pick off Eugene. I thought that would have been fucking hysterical and amazing in so many ways. I still thought it was pretty badass that they were gonna just blow him up, and they just didn't.
Oh, I thought that was so funny. Fuck him.
Yeah, for real. Like, if you're gonna say you're Negan, go fuck yourself, dude. Eugene's gonna be a bad guy.
I don't know where they're going with Eugene at this point, because they specifically took Eugene because of his knowledge of how to make bullets, and then he never makes bullets for them. He makes literally everything else but bullets. Instead, Negan's got him pouring fucking hot metal on zombies for no reason.
Someone said, like, on our Facebook page a while back, they're like, you know, the Saviors, something about like the Saviors are going to be so well off now that they have Eugene making bullets for them. And I commented, I was like, do they?
Do they?
Because we haven't fucking seen them doing that. What are you talking about? Like, there's they've literally not shown him making bullets at all whatsoever. So,
Yeah, like they didn't have an episode where they went with Eugene to get the bullet making machine that is conveniently just thrown out.
I'm guessing next season they're gonna have to like do that because I mean they expended a lot of bullets this episode. So.
Yeah, I agree. And I had an issue with this episode where the Kingdom's army was like 10 people, if that. Like, why did he only bring 10 people?
Where were they even going?
Right, yeah.
What do you mean? They were going to Alexandria.
What? Why?
I don't get the timeline of all that.
I don't either,
Yeah,
Dennis.
how did it get there? Who told them?
I assumed that Rick was like, we're going to make a stand when Negan comes. But, like, when the fuck did he tell them that?
Never! They literally just glaze over anything that's fucking, like, they have to explain. They're just like, oh, whatever. Like, they're on their way. No one told them. No one explained to them anything that's going on. Literally, the last thing we saw with Ezekiel was Carol coming from the hut after Ben died and going to the kingdom and saying, we have to fight. Ezekiel says, I know, not today. And that's it. That's the last time we've fucking seen them. Now, this episode, they're all suited up and marching. I don't know where the fuck they're marching in this episode at all. So why do they think? And it looks like they're ready for battle, but what battle do they know about? No one fucking told them shit.
Yeah, I mean, Lucy says they were going to make an alliance with Rick, but like, why would they take anything or bring like as many people as they did if that was the case? Like they were dressed for battle. They were carrying banners to like signify who they were.
Did they say
and
they
Carol
were
was just like,
alliance?
"Fucking let's go." I don't think so.
I don't remember them ever
I
explicitly.
mean, it's an idea, but
like
it
literally
doesn't make sense.
I mean, it's definitely an idea, but I literally, from what I remember watching the episode, it cuts to them. They're walking and marching. Carol sees the cart, the shopping cart. She says, "Guns up." Then they're always dressed like dinks.
Like dinks.
Says guns up, and then Morgan pops out like, "Ah!" And they're all like, "Ah!" And you know, he's there doing whatever the fuck he's doing. You know what I thought was interesting in this episode?
Pigeon.
Michael says they send notes via pigeon. They send a three-eyed raven.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting in this episode, Carol saying, "Did you kill any of the saviors?" Morgan saying, "No," and she goes, "Good, because if you did, then that would have told them the whole plan and they would have known who we were." And I thought it was nice that at least two characters in this fucking show are smart and call out Sasha's dumb fucking plan for what it is. Like, they literally say, "No, okay, I'm glad you didn't do that because that would have really dicked us hard." And to know, but I don't know. It was I didn't understand what it was, where they were going, or why they were going there, or what we were led to believe, which made kind of the big reveal at the end where they pop out kind of lame. I was like, how fucking convenient.
Yeah.
Like,
And the fact that they both popped out at the same time, I was like,
is there even a separate fucking Alexandria?
I don't know. I don't know how they got in. I don't know where they came from or why they came in at the same time, but it was just kind of like, all right.
Whatever. I actually looked at an aerial view of Alexandria, and it looks like there's multiple entrances, but I don't think we've ever been shown multiple entrances on this show. So
no, never. I mean, I assume they probably have those like secret pathways that the Hilltop has, but I feel like we assume a lot in the show.
They squeeze a tiger through it.
Yeah, somehow they squeeze. It's true.
They squeeze Shiva through the wood box. Like, come on.
Or they were already there, but that doesn't make sense either.
That makes no sense. Oh god, it was a mess. A hilarious mess all the same. Well, so I think you and Dennis both called like Dwight switching sides, and I know I was like fighting you both on that about him saying that, like, him having nothing left now that Cherry's gone or whatever. So
yeah,
for figuring that out. Good job, guys.
And how he hid the little figure in the door, and somehow, of all people, Daryl found it.
Yeah, right. How convenient. Like,
says,
it was the most like obscure location.
Yeah.
Jonathan said, "What about Daryl basically stumbling across Dwight's little don't know figurine? Didn't know figurine. Anyone else wouldn't know what it was or what it meant." Lucy says the figurine was so lame.
Yeah, literally, if anybody had picked that up other than Daryl, they wouldn't have known what the fuck it meant.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
There's so much stuff like that, and the whole Sasha thing. Like, somehow each of these people like did this thing, and it doesn't make sense. Like, it's like, how did Sasha know that Negan was going to open the coffin? It doesn't, like, it could have literally been anybody else, and she would have killed them.
Yeah. I don't think she was like doing it to like kill him per se. I think she knew that Negan at some point was going to try to use her as a pawn. He said, as long as I'm dead, then it doesn't really matter. So I don't know if she thought like, oh, he's going to open the door and I'm going to lunge at him and bite him, which obviously it conveniently happened that way. But I don't know if that was her master plan or her master plan was just to be dead at the end. But I agree. It's just convenient. The whole figurine thing, like the most random, obscure location to put that figurine. Like, not even, it would have been nice if he put it in the cell or something like that. You know what I mean? It would have made a little bit more sense that someone would have found it in this random little hole in the fence or something. But
yeah,
it's very bizarre.
In that gate.
So are we? What's that?
I thought it was in the gate.
Yeah, like in
where
a
the
hole
gate
in the
closed.
gate or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
some weird. Yeah, I don't know.
But
It's
whatever.
just crazy. Assume that Negan doesn't trust Dwight anymore since he didn't know about this whole plan with Jadis.
No, because I think this whole thing Dwight wasn't there for. He was out doing something for Negan.
Oh, so are we thinking like that's how quickly this all went down?
Well, yeah, I mean, she attacked that night, the night before.
Yeah.
And then it was like, what, 4 hours later after sunrise that they got there?
I don't know. That's why they should have explained timelines a little
Dude,
bit more.
time is so
effectively.
fucked up in this show. Like,
it's so arbitrary. Like they
you don't know how long it's been since the zombie outbreak, and
but it takes 2 hours to get from Alexandria.
that's all we know.
That's important.
That's fucking far, man. That's like Philly to what the fuck? Like
New York.
Yeah, New York, or
yeah, that's not a quick drive.
It's like past
especially when
Harrisburg.
major highways are blocked.
Scranton, Philly to Scranton.
Scranton. And when you take back roads, everything takes longer too. Just saying, like that was
It's not a straight fucking line.
No, that was my one adjustment from moving from New Jersey to Pennsylvania. When you're in New Jersey, there's roads that are just convenient and they're mostly highways. And when something says it's 20 miles, you know that takes you exactly 20 minutes. PA, when something's 20 miles, that takes you 40 minutes because there's weird shit. There's random stop signs in the middle of the road. There's lights every other 5 fucking feet. It's
There's
all
woodland
random
critters to run over.
Critters to fucking run over. I almost killed a hawk today, by the way.
Oh my god!
It was
I
just
feel
in
like
the
someday
fucking
you're gonna
road.
come on the podcast and be like, guys, I ran over a fucking ostrich. We're gonna be like, of course you did, Seb.
It was perched on like a dead animal. It was just standing there. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? You trying to die? Fly away with that shit.
That's because you live out in bumblefuck nowhere. But at the same time, I understand, like, Philly is not bumblefuck nowhere, and it takes forever to get anywhere.
Yep.
Ugh.
All right. Well, I think that about covers it. Other than that, I just had like the whole fight scene. I thought it was ridiculous and amazing at the same time. It frustrates me a little bit that, easily outnumbered and they have no damage inflicted upon them. What?
Well, it says animals are not safe around Seb. You have to to get rid of your dog.
I know. I actually have a dog that has survived. So for now, we'll see how long that lasts. I'm not entirely sure, but
Lucy says episode should have ended with straight from the comic Negan telling his group that they'll swing their big helicopter dicks harder and faster to take out Rick. The positive pep talk was a total letdown.
yeah, I thought that I thought it would have been a nice ending to the episode had they just ended it where Negan says like we're going to war and all his men are like woohoo.
It didn't look like he had that many people.
It
though.
didn't. No.
Like,
but
like the amount of people everybody has. Like the Hilltop had like maybe 10 people. The Kingdom had maybe 10 people, and then it was Rick and friends.
so are we supposed to assume that Jadis is now team? Or are they just not involved anymore? Or like, are they going to be gone? Like, did they just leave disperse after that and say, fuck you guys, like, we're done? Or
they didn't address it.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, they didn't get their end of the bargain, whatever that was. So
Wait, what about Gregory?
Yeah, we never found out what happened to Gregory or.
Yeah, we know that he left.
I thought he was going to
I
help
assumed
out.
he left to go to what's his face's place. Yeah, Stephen Ogg. We never remember his character's name. It's just Stephen Ogg.
Simon, yeah.
Simon, okay.
Well, I mean, Simon lives at the sanctuary, right? So
I think it was
I assumed he didn't. I thought he took over the compound that Rick killed everybody at.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he seems like he's always at the sanctuary. Like every time you see him, he's there for the most part. So,
yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Daryl's infinite ammo power up. What the fuck kind of gun was he using? It looked like a gun from fucking Halo or something.
Yeah, that was an interesting an interesting gun. I don't know what that was. Message retracted. Ryan, what are you saying? Will we go back to recruit the Oceanside ladies? No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. Because
I'm assuming they'll show up randomly at some point during the war.
Yes, I agree with that. And Lucy says, I also figured Heath would show up just in time to have his leg blown off.
I'm assuming that Heath is not showing up ever again.
He'll show up at some point once his 24 spinoff is canceled.
That's right. Yeah.
That's like
it's canceled. Not it's over.
Is that something
Kill him. Just kill him.
Did his legs get blown off in the comics? Was that in the comics?
It gets blown off with a grenade.
Did it?
Yeah. He has like one leg now, remember? He just rides around on a horse all day.
Ryan says Negan.
Oh yeah, they also had horses.
Who rides horses?
The Kingdomers had horses in the safe zone, so they must have stuffed the horses in the woodshed.
Stuffed the horses.
I just imagine this long line. Yeah. Did they do that in like Monty Python or something?
They launched
cows over the wall.
No, they launched cows from catapults, I think.
Yeah. Oh God. All right. Well, that is the official recap. You guys can keep commenting as we go. We're gonna get into some ratings now. So if the commenters, this is fun. We could do live ratings.
Yeah, if the commenters want to rate this episode,
rate it on a scale of 1, which is shitty, which is
complete and utter shit. You can also rate it a 0,
which is never gonna happen.
What was the episode, Dennis? What was the episode that you gave a 1?
I don't even remember.
Probably the Beth and Daryl episode.
No, it was this season.
Yeah, I think it was this season.
It was this season?
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave it a 1. He was so pissed off. as pissed off as Dennis can get.
I got him recorded as a 2 for episode 3, which is the Daryl is tortured as our fans episode.
Oh man.
Ryan, you gave that a 5, which is just disturbing. All right, who wants to go? Yeah, you like the song. Who wants to go first on the rating scale?
Dennis does.
I'll give it a 7. I liked it. It's a good.
7
It was
beeps.
Ryan, what do you got, buddy?
I forget what I rated this season.
Shit.
I do think this was the best episode this half of the season.
Ooh, okay.
So I'll give it a 7.5.
You gave, yeah, all right, that works. I'm gonna give this like a 7.9269 since Sasha was masturbating.
Oh, Walt gives it a 1. Steve
Walt.
gives it a 5. And Ryan gives it a 7. And Lucy also gives it a 7-ish.
She gives JDM's face a 10.
Yeah.
Not really caring that Carl might get killed a 10, and Eugene being alive a sad face. Oh god. Oh, Jonathan says you want to get more confusion. You want more confusion about the timeline. Look at Judith, by the way. Can we get a total number of minutes Rick has spent with Judith this
season?
Well, I think
a grand total of nothing.
I think now that he's acknowledged that it's not his child, he just feels less obligated to it. Just pawns it off at this point. And Judith
Talkalypse gives it a 6.7890364.
Woo! That's a solid 6.7.
They take after you, Seb.
That's why we're best buds. He also is that DJ from Nerd Talkalypse? He said that I was right. The first 40 minutes of this episode was bogus. So actually, the more that I've talked about it, the more that I've enjoyed it a little bit more, but
right.
Not much more. All right, you want to get into?
I think it was a decent episode. So if we take one of the better seasons and you threw this in there, it was a good episode. Wasn't the greatest, wasn't the worst.
Yeah,
100% wasn't the worst.
Yeah. This
second half of the season was just blah. It was it was so hard for me to do podcasts for this season, man. I don't know about you guys.
you get very beat up, like with the if the episodes just suck, you're just like, fuck this.
I don't know what else to talk about. Like if you have fucking episodes where they're just like a day in the life of Rick and Michonne, like which wasn't the worst episodes. I don't know why I picked that one, but
Tara.
It's just like they just the Tara episode. Like it's just like great. This is happening. Could be summed up in 5 minutes, but we're gonna stretch it out for an hour and 15.
You got to find the deeper meaning, man.
That's the thing about this show now is they don't have a deeper meaning anymore. Like they used to hide shit in clips and stuff, and it was fun, and we got to like talk about what song was played and what the clock said at a certain time, and it was like, hey, this is season 7, episode 8, because it said, I don't know, 7:18 or something. I don't fucking know, like something like that on the clock. Like they used to hide all this shit, and it was fun to like find that and like pay attention to the episode. Now it's just kind of like you play the episode and it's just you're like, oh, I got a commercial now. I got a break from the. I'm just like, all right, great.
Well, did you look at Maggie's watch at the end of the episode and see if it said the time?
Did you?
But I couldn't tell what it said. I thought it would have been a nice touch if it said the time of the episode, like if it said like 7:01, which is when Glenn died. That would have been cool. I don't think that's what it said, but hoped.
The Rishon episode was the second worst episode ever, says Jonathan. They need to stop with the long episodes, says Ryan. I agree, Ryan. They need to reserve the extended episodes for episodes that matter. Like they started that shit with Morgan. Morgan's long-ass episode where he became crazy. He went from crazy to being somewhat not crazy and played with a stick. Some old white guy's stick.
Yeah. I think they need to just cut the seasons down. I still stand by that. Like maybe like 12
I
episodes.
understand. Like, yeah, make it a 12 episode. Do 6 and 6.
Yeah.
Oh, but the goat. What was the goat's name, Seth?
Tabitha. I love Tabitha. Tabitha was great.
Hey, at least Tabitha wasn't fucking CGI'd.
So did anyone who's listening right now actually enjoy the episode? I feel like there's a lot of hate going on.
Well,
Steve
based
says
on the
he doesn't
ratings,
agree. They need to hire an
I'd say
editor.
some people didn't mind it.
I'd say so.
I
mean,
for the
I said,
people
it was
who are
definitely-
listening, what would you give this season? What rating would you give this season based on all the other seasons?
seasons right now.
What's that?
I said rank all the seasons
Rank it,
right
no,
now.
not all the seasons. Just rank this season based on all the other seasons. I'd be interested.
We'll sit here and wait.
We're waiting. No.
Brian says 4.5. Lucy says 6.5.
When I type Daryl, my keyboard suggests this emoji. Walt gives it a 4.5. Okay.
Oh, that's high for one. I thought it would be way lower. I thought it'd be negative 4.5.
Nerdtagalip says,
Fuck Daryl.
Fuck Daryl.
That's a good rating.
It's a good rating, yeah.
Rate it in terms of season overall.
Yeah, but it's just what was it, season 3? Where they were at the prison. I think that
travesty.
Up until this season was probably the worst season ever.
Yeah.
This season might take the cake as the worst of the seasons, yeah.
Someone
because
commented on
the only
Facebook
memorable
and said that
the only memorable episodes was the episode 1 where we have Abraham and Glenn dying. This past episode.
That's it.
I mean,
someone said that this season had a smaller budget because they were trying to reserve budget for next season. Whether that's true or not, I don't fucking know. It sounds kind of hokey and not true to me, but
well, if it did, that fucking deer took the cake. It's a bee's dick away from a JPEG.
Why does shit like that happen? Like you have,
I don't know. I'm not in the industry. I can't say.
No, but you have like these amazing scenes with Shiva attacking people done miraculously. The thing looks completely fucking real and believable. And then you have, by comparison, the worst example of CGI ever done on the show twice this season, which is the backdrop for the garbage people. And I think it's just different. I don't know, is it like a CGI artist or something doing this shit? Or like what does it really, like, why is it so bad or so good? I don't understand.
I don't either. Like, that's what's disappointing about this show is like you have this kind of quality that the show has had in the past where you've had deer in the show in the past, especially like I brought up that thing with Carl and the deer, and I think it was season 2.
Yeah.
Where they were on the farm and they're like, go touch it, or something like that. And they brought a real deer on, like whether or not they actually like brought a deer on and they left it in the woods or they just went into the woods and filmed a deer. Like regardless, it was still a real deer. It wasn't this fucking pixelated piece of shit that they gave us this season that was just standing in the middle of a fucking Ferris, a fucking, what the fuck is it? Like a Ferris wheel area.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking stupid. It was so bad. Like there's no excuse for how bad that was. Like that's ridiculous. Like there's CGI in Fear the Walking Dead that's better than that. Like the boat in Fear the Walking Dead was like questionable at best, but like that deer was just ridiculous.
Hard to take a real picture of a boat from afar and just insert it into the show. Like you don't actually even have to like film it. Just pay someone who's already done it for the rights to their film and just fucking put that in there. I don't understand what this. So Steve Lord said those fucking mattresses. Don't forget about the mattresses.
Yeah, I made a thing about it. And I think I sent it to you guys and then I never did anything. It was like the mattresses, the boat from Fear the Walking Dead, the quarry trucks. and then that fucking deer. Like those four things have stood out to me as like the absolute worst CGI I've ever seen in a show where quality used to be like a good thing. Like Walking Dead used to be amazing. I still think the makeup in the show and the prosthetics like are phenomenal. Like I think it was last week when we visited the seaside where they had the barnacles on the zombies. I thought that was really good looking. That was awesome.
I'm loving this live chat. Lucy says, I hope they CGI Madison instead of wasting budget on her.
Yeah, just make her a fucking a puppet from a string. What are they called? Marionettes.
That would be the extent of the personality they get from her anyway.
Yeah, Bicycle Girl was phenomenal, dude.
I mean, the makeup
Bicycle Girl season 1, no fucking legs, was just like upper body and crawling on the ground like and this is the first thing Rick sees while he's walking out of the fucking hospital. It was awesome.
It's when they cared.
Yeah, it's when they were like, "Oh shit, we have to actually market the show."
Exactly. That's the problem.
Instead of becoming AMC's mainstream money grab.
Do you think if the show lost like say 3 million viewers, it would get better or worse?
At this point, I don't think they give a shit.
You don't think so?
How many viewers does it have?
I think like 12 million.
Yeah, they wouldn't give a shit. They'd probably blame it on economics or something.
Economics.
I don't know. They blame it on another show that was airing at the same time.
People were watching, they would like maybe care a little bit more, you know? I don't know if that's just like
you'd
wishful
think,
thinking.
but like, what other AMC show is good right now? Like, I would say Into the Badlands, but like,
Better Call Saul. I hear it's
I haven't
good.
watched it. So I don't know.
Fantastic.
But that's a spin-off of one of the single greatest show on AMC ever. Arguably.
And even that, by comparison, had like what 5 million viewers in its heyday. Like,
did it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
all right. Well, it's saying that the day will come when you won't be had
Comic
17
okay,
million.
Comic book man.
Not comic book man. They're saying the finale had 17 million viewers.
Did it really? I don't know.
Is that what this episode was called? The day will come when you won't be. Yeah, that's it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what they're saying, and that I think that's close to tied with what the premiere was. That never mind. I'm sorry. That wasn't this episode. There's too long of titles. The day will come when you won't be was the premiere. Sorry.
Well,
this one was called the first day
I
of
thought
the
that's what you
rest
said.
of
You
your
cut
life.
out. Yeah.
This is to be decided. So they're ranging around 10 million viewers right now. So not great by Walking Dead standards. So they lost about 7 million viewers over the course of the season.
So there's your answer. If they lost 3 million viewers, would they change anything? No.
But I mean, you know, they filmed the entirety of season 7, so it's not like they had many options or whatnot. But all right, you want to jump into some feedback here?
Do it.
This one's from Alan.
Alan!
He said, hey, Denbot and friends.
Wow.
Still the Denbot and Friends show. He says, I have to double down on my no consequences complaint from last week. 1, Rick's group gets betrayed by the trash people who are inside Alexandria, and only Sasha dies from suicide. Shoots first, and the head trash woman just points the gun at Rick while bullets are flying all around. What the fuck was that? Come on.
And Rick fell off the wall and didn't have any injuries from that. The like 10-story wall or 10-foot wall.
He just landed in a plot hole.
Yeah, I agree, Steve. If they lose $10 million, they'll start to care. I agree. Dallas.
Dallas. Yeah.
They all about that money.
I mean, 7 million seems like a very large number to lose. But when you compare that to just the general size of viewership for most shows are lucky to even get 7 million viewers. I can't even think of one off the top of my head that has 7 million viewers. So
Game of
still,
Thrones.
I don't know for sure it does.
I'm sure it does.
I don't know. I'd have to verify.
And that's probably across different things. That's not just on cable. That's probably watched online and
yeah, illegally downloaded, so on and so forth. All right,
that's me.
Alan
illegally streamed.
illegally streamed. Alan
Yeah.
continues on. He says other points of ridiculousness. Michonne gets punched in the face and is in a hospital bed. Brick gets shot and is sitting at her side. And he said, of course, Maggie should lead the charge with their torn uterus.
Her torn uterus and baby in tow.
Yes, baby in tow. He says, beep, 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 boop, Alan. All right.
Whoa, what did he say, Dennis?
Shows a bunch of swear words.
All right. Next up, we got Walt.
Walt!
We're reading your
Hey,
book.
it's
We're
your
reading
boy.
your email.
Walt.
He said, "Hey, enthusiastic friends, Walt here.
Hi,
Well,
Walt.
an extremely lackluster season ends with lackluster episode. It seemed like so much was going on, but nothing much happened. Everything about Sasha's death, both of them, was handled terribly. Shiva finally gets to be a tiger and isn't shown doing much, and I'm not happy with Eugene's apparent heel turn. I really think the show has already hit its peak, as everything that made it good seems to be on a downward spiral. The writing, the acting, and the FX are all below what they once were. Hopefully they rebound next season. Okay, guys, hope you all have a great summer. Talk to you next season. You're a devoted fan, Walt."
Well, thank you for the email, Walt. But I will have to say that the CGI tiger wasn't bad.
Yeah, I do. Usually I agree with Walt on most everything he says. But in this instance, I do think Shiva looked great. Not complaining there. Sasha's death, I don't think it was, maybe it was handled terribly. I don't think it was.
She should have fucking died when she ran into the compound, and that was the end of her.
All right. So, okay, I agree it was handled terribly then in that instance. And I'm actually happy with Eugene's apparent heel turn. Like, fuck, change shit up. All right, up next is Christian. Not a good or bad season finale in comparison to past seasons. It was nice seeing Abraham again, but the constant flashbacks really took me out of the episode. I guess we needed the extra 20 minutes to show Sasha dying. I know how much you guys want Daryl to die, but I'm starting to feel that way about Michonne now. Her and Tara can go at any time, but I know it's wishful thinking on my part.
Tara's a minor character. She's one of those characters I just don't give a shit about. Like, if she died, I'd be like, all right, cool.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
She's not, but at the same time, she's not a character that I want to die.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Like, I don't care either way.
I would argue that Tara is in a perfect position to die at this point because I feel like she's established the fan base that she has and will ever have.
Mm.
And I feel like any attempt at developing her further in a singular episode before she dies would be, again, obvious and on the nose. So I feel like she's in a position at this point, if they left everything perfectly and within, the scope of all out war, she ends up dying, I would probably feel bad about it. I don't need more Tara background. I feel like I know her well enough. We already got 3 episodes of Tara background with the governor. I feel like she's a fully well-developed character. She's transitioned well into her new life. If she dies, I'm ready for her to die, and I will feel sad about it. I don't need anything Tara shoved down my throat next season.
See, I won't feel bad if she dies because I don't feel like, I don't know. It's I don't care. Like I said before, there are certain characters I care about, but like Tara's not one of them. Tara's like a C to Rick's A. Rick's an A character. Tara's a C character, and I feel like they're trying to make her a B. Like I want to see Risk like risk in killing characters. I don't want to see like, let's introduce this character, let's develop their story, let's fucking kill them. Like I don't care. Like kill off some of the original series 1 characters. Like I was prepared for Glenn's death because I read about it, but if I didn't read about it in the comics, like or didn't hear about it or anything like that, I would have genuinely been shocked. Like that would have like hit me. But because of that, I didn't. I cared about Abraham because Abraham was a really interesting, cool character. I did, and I thought he would have been cool to go out in a different way, like in the war. That would have been cool, but like just to been hit in the face with a baseball bat, that was kind of like meh.
A lackluster way to go out.
Yeah, I mean, you want to see, you root for characters to survive, and then if they go out, you root for characters to go out in a dignified way. Yeah, like Jonathan said, like Daryl. Why is Daryl? Why is Carol? Why is Morgan? These 3 characters who have been in from season 1, why are they still in this show? They literally do nothing. Morgan is fucking mind gone. Carol's like can't decide what the fuck she wants to do, and Daryl's just there to go, oh my god, it's Daryl. I'm gonna keep watching the show for the next season. There's like, he should have died under Negan's care.
No, he should.
It would have made this season better. Don't get me wrong. I liked Daryl to begin with, and his brother, and I thought they were an interesting flop on the show. But then they just drug it out, and then they make these relationships between Daryl and other people. Like I still do not understand what the Daryl Carol relationship is. I don't think we ever will. Like, is he into her, or is he into her like as a mother figure? Like, we don't know. Not that it would matter either way.
I don't,
because it doesn't matter. Like, no one gives a shit. Just kill both of them off make them go out in like a fucking hail of bullets. Yes, yeah. Daryl has completely stopped growing as a character. It's dumb. And it's Lucy just wants to cut people's legs off.
Oh god!
Cut Morgan's legs off. Blow Daryl's legs off.
She just wants someone's legs to blow off. She doesn't care. Oh god! I'm literally dying over here. Jonathan says Daryl has no comic book death, so we won't know what to expect. So it makes him a perfect option to kill off in a big shock. Ding, 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 ding.
Which they should have done 2 or 3 seasons ago.
Well, like I said, they missed their opportunity. They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. Now with losing 7 million viewers over the course of a season, they're not.
If Daryl dies in an episode, the intro to the podcast episode following that episode, I'm just gonna yell yes for as long as I can. And
that is a podcast we will do forever. Like, it'll just be a podcast that never ends, because we'll never want to watch another episode of The Walking Dead ever again.
I think it might be our shortest podcast ever, because we'll just be like, he died, he's dead, he's gone, guys, he's dead. and podcast cut. Yeah.
I'd have
to the outro.
I'd have a parade.
Parade.
All right. Back to the emails. This one comes from Minnesota.
Minnesota?
He says, "Dear Minnesota."
Is that the name?
Davey from Minnesota.
Davey. Okay. Davey!
Well, if his name is Minnesota, it'd be like Zombieland or something.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
All right. He says, "Dearest enthusiasts, this podcast you had discussed Enid being in another group but not knowing or not going into which group it was on the show. The reason we didn't catch that is because I believe the showrunner wants us to assume that Enid was on her own since her parents' death. That clears things up for you." That he's right. We fucked up last episode when we said that.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, because remember they do that whole flashback where she's with her parents and they die and then she's eating turtles and then she stumbles upon Alexandria. I think that was like the entire course of her
see, I
life.
thought she and her parents were with another group. That's what I took from that.
I'd say that's like a very,
because like what kid's gonna say like I was with another group as opposed to like I was with my parents.
I guess I find it kind of hard to believe that the three of them survived on their own all that time if they weren't with a group. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it was explicitly stated either way. Um, he says, as far as the finale goes, what a surprise! The garbage people or the garbage pail dipshits fucked them over. None of us, including all of you, even thought that could be the little birdie that sang in Negan's ear. What a surprise! I loved how Shiva came flying out of nowhere like Randy Moss to make a Hall of Fame worthy type diving catch or bite, as she did so gallantly, deserving savior. Then Negan hides behind Simon saying, that widow is alive, guns a-blazing. Sofa King awesome? LOL. I don't know what any of that means. What is
Sofa
that?
King.
What is that?
It's a play on words.
For war?
You are the king of sofas.
King of sofas.
Sofa King.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. He said, LOL twisted your words, right? Yes, you did. Anyways, before I make you stumble anymore over my writing here, I'll let you go. Thanks for the amazing season. Honestly, I feel that I look forward to this podcast more than I did the actual show. Thank you.
Thanks.
Kudos.
Ditto.
AMC has quite the hole to dig themselves out of, and let's hope they can do it in All Out War this fall. Love you all. Keep it real. Much love from Minneapolis. Lake Street crew, baby. Hopkins Royals represent. Be well. Peace. Sincerely. Soda.
Sincerely, what?
He said, be well, peace, sincerely. I think he was intentionally writing an email to make me fuck up while I was reading it, essentially, as he so kindly stated. So, yes, thank you for that email, Davey. Do you know, how close is Minnesota to Michigan, Dennis?
I have no idea.
Far as fuck.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure Michigan's closer to here than it is there. I could be wrong.
Or you're probably right. I don't go much farther west than where I work, so I don't know shit. All right, next up is Erica Lim. So this is on the other side of the spectrum. She said, I enjoyed it. I had such low expectations because the season was shit, but I was pleasantly surprised.
Agreed.
Sasha had the best. She said Sasha had the best death of the entire series.
I don't
those
agree.
trash people. Oh, yeah. Best death of the entire series?
I don't think anybody had a good death.
No one?
What
What about Andrea picking up with?
Oh, of the entire. Okay, I'm sorry. I was thinking of when she said series, I meant season.
Oh no, she meant series.
Oh fuck no! I completely disagree with you.
What? Who do you think had the best death of the entire series?
I'd have to literally go back and watch to figure that out.
What was Glenn's friend's name?
Glenn's friend, Otis.
No.
Jonathan said Otis.
Is it Otis? No, the one kid who was taking down notes in his book all the time. He died in that scene with the mall or something. He got dragged out.
Oh.
Pushed against the glass and ate.
Bob.
No, it wasn't Bob. Name.
I think Bob died in the revolving door, right?
No, Bob died. Noah. Thank you,
yeah.
Lucy.
Noah. That's sorry.
Glad someone's paying attention. Yeah, that was Noah, and then Bob died by just getting bit randomly, I think, when he was like in
he was
water. Yeah, so that was a lame death.
Yeah. Noah did have a good death.
For me, emotionally, I'd say Lori's death was pretty solid.
But best death.
That's tough. Jonathan
Best
says Noah.
Yeah.
Lucy says
Bob was tainted meat.
Oh yeah, you're right. Tainted meat. Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I would say probably Noah is a good one.
I know I'm missing someone. Someone killed themselves, sacrificed themselves to save everybody.
T-Dog?
Ew.
Is that who you're talking about?
T-Dog.
T-Dog, yeah.
Oh my god, remember T-Dog?
Yeah,
I
the
feel like we
dumbest
haven't talked about
lines.
him in years.
Tragic.
Tragic indeed.
That was season 2.
That was when they didn't give a fuck. That episode was fucking amazing. T-Dog dies, Lori dies. In that episode that I can't remember, or at least you think Carol dies. Like that shit was baller.
Carol should have died.
No, she shouldn't have. Look at this transformation. All right, next up, Rosalinda.
Rosalinda.
She said it brought me back. I'm reading this because I like all the references. She says it brought me back to watching Lord of the Rings for the first time. Oh, I love this season. I love this show, and I care about these characters. So when Carol shows up to the pantry,
what?
So when Carol shows up to the party late as shit riding on Shadowfax, I'm shouting, "Save us, Gandalf!" And the direwolf bounds in and eats some Lannister's face off while Bill Pullman with dreads proclaims, "We will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight." And Maggie Skywalker zooms in like, I got one on my flank. Pew, pew, pew. That was the email we've ever received in my life.
Great email. Completely disagree.
Well, yeah. I disagree with the sentiment, but I like the email.
Yes.
Thomas said,
Thomas!
Ended how I thought it would, but all was well done. I love how bad that deer looked a few episodes ago, and then we got Shiva looking pretty good in this episode. CGI consistency, please. Also, who knew Jadis was such a temptress with that bowl cut? LOL. 8.25 out of 10.
8.25.
I find her strangely attractive, and I don't know why. But not least, Natasha. She said, "Hey guys, I like this episode. I really got goosebumps at CGI Shiva, Kingdom, and Hilltop saving the day. Poor Michonne. I'm not going to ramble on about it. It was good. They gave us the start of the war, which I definitely didn't expect, plus a little bit of the aftermath. The attached pic sums up my feelings towards Scott Gimple and the writers. And the attached pic said, I suck at apologies, so unfuck you, or whatever." Can't wait to hear the podcast, guys. Natasha. That's all she wrote. That is the season finale, folks.
What do the viewers think about Fear the Walking Dead?
Oh yeah, that starts up in like June or something.
I'd love to know your opinion on it.
Y'all know our opinions on it.
I'll watch it because I'll probably need something to watch in June, but I don't know if we're gonna podcast on it.
I mean, I definitely don't think we're gonna podcast. Yeah. Fun ideas for the break, but I'm not going to share any of them because I tend to disappoint when we don't record anything. So yeah. I'll keep them all to myself.
Did we ever release my drunk episode?
Oh
God,
we need to do a live drunk episode with you.
Dude, I am never getting that drunk again. Like I blacked out. That was terrifying.
Yeah, that was terrifying for us, not knowing if you were alive or dead.
Lucy says, "I'm into it when Madison isn't in it. The kids are keeping it afloat for sure."
Oh,
I actually like the kids in that show.
They killed the kids.
No, one of them the brother and sister.
Chris? He's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, Nick,
and what's the girl's name?
I don't know. Attractive white female. I don't remember what her name is. Alicia.
Yeah.
I personally like Chris as a character. I thought he was interesting and intriguing, and we rarely see characters go from good to evil, and then they killed him, and that was the end of that.
Dude, Lucy's gonna blow your fucking legs off, Seth.
Oh God, I'm gonna go.
Fear the Walking Dead is a zombie show where you want the zombies to win. Yes, exactly, Walt. Thank you.
Steve says there's a theory that Nick from Fear and his Gormaflage might somehow become the Whistlers.
The Whistlers.
I think he means the Whispers.
I like the Whistlers. I hope that's a thing. It's just a bunch of fucking zombies whistling as they're walking toward. That's fucking terrifying, let me tell you.
If they ever cross these shows, I'm out. I'm done. We're shutting down the podcast. I won't. I refuse to do that. Thank you, Ryan.
You're welcome.
All right.
Just a hint of fear.
Let's
end this shit.
That's all she wrote, folks. Wow, 1 hour 40 minutes. That's the longest podcast I think we did all season.
Yeah.
We want to thank everyone who joined us on the live feed tonight. This was a lot of fucking fun.
Who was Steve, Lucy, Walt, Jonathan? Who else was in here?
There's a lot of people in here. DJ,
Ryan,
Nerdocalypse.
Nerdocalypse, Steve. I think I said Steve.
Just read everyone's name over.
Angela,
Michael. There's a bunch
Thomas.
of fun people.
Yeah, there were.
So
you guys are all great.
All.
We should do this more often.
We should do this more often.
Prepare. Yeah, if you want to watch this, you can plug us. Watch us at The Walking Dead Enthusiasts on YouTube.
Yes.
Right?
I think it's youtube.com/
Just type in The Walking Dead Enthusiasts in the search bar, and it's there.
It'll be there. I'll also post a direct link to the quote edited audio, which will just be this audio with the intro added to it. Yeah. So you can check that out. Skips in this, you could just download the actual audio from our website, twdenthusiast.com. You also go to iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play. We're on all of them, so be sure to subscribe, like, and rate us. And you can do that by going to
forget to subscribe.
twdenthusiast.com/subscribe. And yeah, we'll be on our Facebook page, facebook.com/TWD Podcast. You could also follow us on Twitter at TWD_enthusiast. We'll be there during off season. I hope to, post some actual news on our website one of these days. So that's on my to-do list too.
Get to it, Seb.
Thank you everyone for joining us on this episode of the Walking Dead Enthusiast Podcast. Say peace out, everybody. Oh wait, you're Sebastian and Ryan and Dennis.
I'm all three of us.
I am everyone. That's a season twist for you. And Lucy says, Denbot, stay oiled. Walt says, thanks, guys. You all rock.
Lucy also says, bye, guys. Have fun watching Survivor. We'll miss you up in Canada. Steve says, thanks for the hilarious therapy as always, guys.
Therapist.
Thank you for coming out here and sharing our feels with The Walking Dead with us.
You could send your copay to
your copay.
PayPal. We charge for these sessions, guys. We actually have all your credit card information now. No. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. I'm Sebastian.
I'm Dennis.
And I'm Ryan.
Say peace out, everybody.
Thanks for coming out, everybody. See you next season where we can complain about the show more.
Woohoo! Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Beep boop.